Let's hear that Corsa performance exhaust come to life. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Andrew Noble and you are watching Hot Wheels Dad. I did a little Instagram poll a few days ago and you guys voted. You guys want more F150 content on the channel. So today is going to be an F150 video. But first, let's get a cold start on the F150 exhaust. It comes alive, baby. I guess it was not a cold start. I did have the truck out this morning dropping my daughter off at school, but you know what? It still sounds really good. Well, first off, Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to 2022, the first vlog of the year. If you saw my last video where I rescued my buddy's Lexus from the mud, I did make mention that I was gonna take a couple of weeks off. It was just before Christmas, but man, oh man, I did not expect what was going to happen. So the week before Christmas is when I posted that last video. I made mention that I was gonna take Christmas and New Year's off. And then that week, December 17th, I came down with COVID. So I did get COVID that week before Christmas and it really knocked me out. I had a fever, I had body aches, I had cold sweats, I was nauseous, I did vomit. I ended up in the ER twice. The first time is because I had a really bad rash, which I ended up thinking it was due to the medication that I was taking. So as soon as I got off that medication, the rash went away. And then second time is I had a tough time breathing as well. So I ended up going in just to check it out and get a chest x-ray to make sure everything was okay. Everything was. So it really took its toll on me. And it was something that I did not expect. So a lot has happened in the last few weeks. It's been almost, what, 4 weeks since the last vlog I posted. We had Christmas, we had New Year's. We ended up selling our rental property. So we no longer have a rental property. It closed just at the beginning of January. Dang, guys, a lot really has happened since the last time we chatted, but I am back. I'm feeling better. Let's hear that Corsa come to life. Never ever get sick of that sound. So one of the questions I get asked all the time, you guys, or a variation of this question is, does lifting your F150 ruin your truck? Since I've had the truck just about 3 years now. I got it April of 2019 and I ended up lifting the truck a couple of weeks later. I think it was more towards the end of April is when I actually did the lift on the truck. And so it's been almost 3 years since I've had the lift on the F150. And I think I have a pretty good idea of whether or not lifting the truck does ruin it, or I'm going to assume your guys' question mean what kind of maintenance is involved. Does it ruin the ride of the truck, or if there's any other issues with the truck that comes along with lifting it? So what I can tell you guys is with lifting the truck, I actually did a full-on lift. I did not do the full coilover system, so I do have a spacer up here in the front. That is the stock Ford F150 coilover there. And then the lift is a Pro Comp lift with the drop-down bracket there. So this whole bracket here, you guys, it's actually welded to the frame. It brings the whole bottom of the truck down and it keeps everything underneath the wheels here, and behind the wheels, it basically keeps everything stock. It drops down the front end 6 inches, which, like I said, you guys, there's really no going back because this is welded in and they actually have to do some cutting under here in order to install the lift. I didn't do it myself. I had 4-wheel parts do the lift. Of course, it's something that is a little bit more detailed than what I'm comfortable with. As you can see here, the angles right there seem to be really good. I know on some lifts you can see that little piece right here, this little piece right here kind of changed the angle like that. But again, this particular lift keeps it straight. Actually, this is a little bit beefed up. I don't know, you guys can maybe tell me down in the comments. The older F150s, pre this generation, I feel like these were a little bit less beefy here. I feel like they were not as thick, and I feel like the one on this generation F150 is a little bit thicker. But as you can see with this drop down bracket right here, the lift actually keeps the stock CV angle, so it doesn't really put a whole lot of pressure on there. What I can say is if you go ahead ahead and you do lift the truck, you guys, it is a permanent thing. You cannot go back to stock once you put a full-on lift. If you end up doing just the spacers and do like a leveling kit on the truck, you can bring it back to stock because all it does is put a few spacers inside of the coilovers there, lifts the front end a little bit. Leveling kit usually just lifts the front end to give that wheel gap a little bit more in the front compared to the back. When you get a stock F-150, it kind of sits with a little bit of rake. The back end sits a little bit higher than the front end. So putting the leveling kit on there will lift it up and kind of even it out a little bit. And it does look pretty good. It does give it a nice little level look. And you can tell that it's definitely not a stock truck if you go ahead and do that. But I went ahead and went with the full-on 6-inch Pro Comp lift. And that's what this F-150 has on it. With the lift kit on the truck, it really does not change the ride, which is what I was really happy with. The ride of the truck remained the same compared to stock. I had it for a few weeks, but my dad has an F-150, so I had been able to drive an F-150 for a while. It does really keep that stock ride on the truck. It did not really affect it. I do know that Ford does really keep a nice ride with the lifted truck. One of my buddies had a Chevy Silverado, and after lifting it, it really did. It messed up the ride. It was a super rough ride. I had a Chevy Colorado before the F-150. I did a leveling kit on it, and it just really did not feel like the best of ride quality. Basically, every time you went over a bump, you could kind of just feel it bumping up and down, and it did not feel the best. So the Ford definitely does feel good. It feels like a stock F-150. Let's talk about issues and maybe a little bit of maintenance. So when I did lift the truck, I did it at Full Wheel Parts, and I opted to get the lifetime warranty on it, which turned out to be one of the best investments ever, because I do take my truck off-road, and it is a lot of fun to take it off-road, but it does put some pressure on a lift, especially if it's just kind of like the basic first lift without any of the extra modifications like the coilovers and everything. So the turn stops in the front, I noticed after about 6 months, kind of started making some noise. It made some clicking noise every time I full cranked it one direction and then kind of tried to turn it the other direction. It did make a little clicking noise, so I brought it into Full Wheel Parts. They said basically the turn stops just needed to be tightened. So basically at full turn, I guess there's little stops in there that stop it from turning anymore, and basically those were a little loose and they were making the noise. As soon as they tightened those up, it was good to go. I did have to do that twice, and they basically said there is kind of a little bit of routine maintenance that you have to do with a lifted truck, and that service, if I wouldn't have paid for that extra lifetime warranty, is about $100 every time you bring the truck in to do that, and I've had to do it twice. So that noise kind of popped up. I want to say it didn't pop up for another year or so after that. So let's talk about one other thing here. So basically, since I did mention that this is a stock F-150 upper control arm and the coilover here, at one point I did hear a squeaking noise coming through here up here at the top. I took it back into Full Wheel Parts, and they did say that there is a little like ball joint in there that's made out of rubber that is kind of squeaking a little bit, and they said it is a Ford part, so it has really nothing to do with the lift. They put some grease in there, some high, like deep penetrating grease in there, and that actually did do the trick. That squeaking noise has not come back since, and I haven't had any issues with it since then. Another thing I can say that kind of goes along with maintenance of the truck is after lifting the truck, you kind of have to pay attention to the alignment of the truck. I've had to have an alignment on the truck twice since actually lifting it. Basically, the reason why I did do that is because these are new tires on the truck. These are the Cooper Discover STT Pros on the truck. I did have Nitto Ridge Grapplers, and I followed the rotation maintenance, but you know what? The tires did end up wearing out faster. It could have been a tire issue, but I did notice that the inside of the tires were wearing down quicker. So basically with these new tires, I'm gonna make sure I do rotate every 3,000 miles and then keeping the truck in alignment. After you do the lift on there, sometimes the trucks do get out of alignment. So it's something you do have to pay attention to. You may go through more tires, but again, this is only my second set of tires on the truck, and I've had the truck for 3 years. So I really don't feel like that's kind of an issue. I feel like maybe it was the tires. I'll run through these tires and then I'll give you guys definitely an update how these tires perform off-road and over the lifetime of owning the tires. So as far as maintenance goes, there may be a little bit more maintenance involved with lifting a truck compared to just a stock truck or putting a leveling kit on the truck. I really like the way my truck sits. It really sits at kind of a level. Depending on the angle you look at it, sometimes I post pictures on Instagram and you guys say, oh, it still has that little bit of rake to it, but it really doesn't. It is almost exactly level. The front end may sit a little bit higher if you look at it at that angle, and that's what I really like about the truck. I get tons of compliments on the Ford F-150. Everywhere I take it, at the gas station, it gets a lot of attention. On the freeways, I get thumbs up all the time. And then of course, whenever I post anything on Instagram, you guys always comment and you guys always say that you love the look of the truck. And I've had a few people say, you know what, I want my truck to look exactly like that, so tell me what all of your mods are. And I did post a video, I don't know, probably about a year ago, basically saying what all the mods on the F150 are. So you guys can go back and check that out if this is something that you guys want to do to your truck. If I'm gonna answer your question, does lifting the truck ruin the truck after 2 years? My answer is gonna be no. I have no major issues with lifting the truck at all. And of course, you get an awesome looking Ford F150. With all the mods that I've done, I'm super happy with how this truck turned out. The new F150s, the 2021 model, they do look pretty good, but you know what? I'm in love with the look of the 18 and the 19 F150s. I feel like they are the best looking truck of all. Out of Chevy, Dodge. Tundras do look really good, I'll give them that, but you know what? I believe Ford has the best looking truck. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me, if you feel like the Ford F150 is the best looking truck out of them all. I appreciate you tuning in to this episode of Hot Wheels Dad. Please browse the channel, check out all the videos that I have. I do have a playlist of just F150 content, but I do post a lot of automotive content. I have an Audi R8 that I get out and take it to car shows and have a lot of fun in. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. It really does help my channel out, you guys. It helps me grow tremendously and it helps me get out to more and more people. I would appreciate it so much. Check my social pages out, Hot Wheels Dad, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Always remember, you are the maker of your own story, so don't forget to make it legendary. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Here she comes. Whoa. I'm okay.
Elsa don't say that.
Elsa don't say what?